Montana and Republican states ending federal unemployment benefits. So the big hullabaloo in these states, I think there's like 20-something states that have started. Some of them have started doing it, and then and others will follow suit here shortly, including my fun state of Mississippi. Because I've been on unemployment down there, and it's not that much. So nobody was getting rich on unemployment. Anywho, this is from Case Study QB. You've probably seen them on some other news shows and stuff on the internet. If you're, give them a like and a follow on YouTube and on Twitter. But let's watch this. This is a couple of minutes. Let's see how this works.
With just days to go until Montana's summer tourist season kicks off, the skeleton crew at this hotel is already exhausted.
Come find me and we'll probably just leave those rooms for tomorrow.
Working extra hours because of staff shortages.
We are trying to do 26 rooms in a day.
Joshua Dempsey believes people don't want to return to work because wages for jobs like this don't equal what pandemic unemployment pays.
I make $800, $900 every 2 weeks. And like my friend gets like $800 a week. So like she doesn't want to work when she's making what I make in 2 weeks in a week. And
not working at all.
Not working at all.
Signs of a low-wage worker shortage are up across Montana. More jobs than employees, especially low-wage positions. Businesses here now offer signing bonuses and $15 an hour starting pay, nearly twice the state's minimum wage.
Unemployment benefits should be a safety net, not a career choice.
This month, Republican Governor Greg Gianforte announced Montana will opt out of all federal pandemic unemployment benefit programs, including an extra $300 per week supplement.
We're going to incent work, not staying home.
Instead, Montanans will receive a $1,200 bonus if they get and keep a job for at least 4 weeks.
That was kind of a huge relief for me.
At least 7 jobs at this hotel are vacant, says General Manager Anne Marie Bowers.
I anticipate and really hope that will mean more people will be applying.
Montana is not the only state. Most Republican governors in the country have promised to eliminate one or more federal pandemic programs for the unemployed. But not all are able to return to the workforce right away.
First of all, I'm not lazy. I'm a full-time single mother.
Lacey Colon says she had never planned to be home full-time.
I was working in the mornings when she was at school. And then when COVID hit, it just changed everything. All the way down.
Her daughter Juliana has sensory issues and can't wear the required mask for school. So the former hospitality worker has been collecting unemployment in order to be here.
Battles in history.
Homeschooling.
To punctuate.
Since the pandemic began.
There we go.
Pandemic unemployment benefits have allowed mother and daughter to stay in their home.
I'm going to be really scared. I already am. I don't sleep at night. I guess I got to figure it out like everybody else is going to have to figure it out.
I live at a hotel right now.
Colon fears that will be her future.
Young Law, CNN, Bozeman, Montana.
All right. So yeah. So that's the setup, right? So you have these states that basically saying that you lazy good for nothing's getting the king's ransom off the government teat, which we all know is ridiculous. But that was the big argument that all these people. You know, there's nobody to take these jobs because they're making more on unemployment. You know, you take that away and they'll be running for these jobs, right? So, I was going to show you that first, but let me show you this one first, real quick. You'll get a little chuckle out of this. So this is from Fox Business, right? So we'll get these clowns out of the way. Job searches spiked in states cutting unemployment benefits, analysis shows. So you're like, all right, so here we go. Oh, see, it worked. These good for nothings got off the damn couch and, anyway, so let's scroll down here. But what they tend to bury the lead in this. Let's see, where was this? Oh yeah, in the comment section. Oh, that was like going to a Mensa Club meeting right there. Anyway, here's the actual meat of it. It starts here. Sorry, folks, I'm not used to reading on the internets. Job search activity rose by 5% the day each state announced its plan to cut off the sweetened aid. The sweetened aid. I think that was like some sort of like 70s Kool-Aid ripoff, wasn't it? It was like root Kool-Aid ripoff and put sugar. That's some random shit. Don't listen to me. So each state announced its plan to cut off the sweetened aid, according to Indeed data. Now, Indeed is I believe it's a job search engine on the internet. It's like Monster and stuff like that. So it's a job search thing. A broad range of sectors saw search activity climb, but job search activity in the states had returned to its April levels. Oh, really? This from CNBC. Cutting off unemployment benefits early is not pushing people to find work, data suggests. Here we go. 25 states are ending federal unemployment benefits, including an extra $300 a week. Some of them are ending the federal, but are still keeping the state. Some of them are cutting the whole thing out. So over the past 2 weeks, a dozen states have already done this. Yet job searches are muted in those states, according to an analysis from Indeed. So, yeah, so it was kind of funny how Fox News said, "See it jump, it worked for 8 days," and then the only thing that went up after that was it went tits up, and that means it went down. So, anywho. Job hunting has been, let's go up here. Yeah. So job hunting has been muted in 12 states that opted out of federal unemployment programs in recent weeks, suggesting the policy may not be working as planned, according to a new analysis by job site Indeed. The states ended the pandemic era benefits, including an extra $300 a week, about 3 months ahead of their September 6th expiration. This was from a case study, I believe, too. Larger employers that are struggling to find employees because people are reevaluating their lives. They would rather work at home for themselves. That's the No Shit Sherlock Award going to this little thing. Let's watch this.
Despite the bad economic downturn caused by the pandemic, 2020 was a record year for small businesses. And so boosted by the stimulus support provided by the government, boosted by the Federal Reserve policies and bank lending, we're looking at another great year for small businesses. I think a big comparison that folks we're talking to are looking at is versus the financial crisis, which was brutal for small businesses. It took years for those to come back. The economic conditions are much different now. The physical and political conditions are much different now. It's also easier to start a small business. Like we're a long way away 10 years ago, sort of what you could do on the internet starting a small business. So a lot of people are looking for a boom in entrepreneurialism coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, too, it's in the cases of many of these larger employers that are struggling to find employees because people are reevaluating their lives, perhaps.
Exactly. Maybe I'd rather work at home for myself instead of working at a fast food place or a retail store.
Right? All right. Well, Axios' Nicholas Johnson.
Despite the bad economic downturn caused by the...
Yeah, that's like saying, you know what, I'd rather work from home than get my scrotum nailed to a rusty piece of metal and then shipped out to sea to be later eaten by sharks. Yes, I'd much rather do that. We have all kinds of stuff. I'm going to go on a tangent. I got to get back to this. We'll get back to it. So anyway, now this is from Business Insider. Job searchers are down in states cutting federal unemployment benefits early. Not what you'd expect to see from a disincentive to work. Da, da, da. Wow, it turns out people don't want to work shitty jobs and actually have a little bit of power and are basically calling the shots for themselves. How about that, you know? You know, it's like if you had a band of people, I don't know, maybe a squad of people that were like somehow involved with the government, you know, that could, you know, maybe cause a ruckus and, you know, come together and, you know, kind of like what's going on with people, what actual people are doing now, as opposed to these fake motherfuckers are doing in Washington. People just said, no, you know what? They probably some of them, they probably saved that stimulus money that Trump and Biden, you know, wrote checks for. If they were getting that extra unemployment, they probably squirreled a lot of that away too. You know, I'm pretty sure they spent a lot in their community. You know, they put a lot of it back into the economy, but you know, it's like the dude said, you know, ironically, in a pandemic, this was the best time to start your own thing, you know, because you actually had some little bit of financial confidence that you could do that. You know, I did this with you know, all this stuff that I got here. You know, I bought a computer, parts, and built this computer and everything because this is what I wanted to do. It turns out, you know, the whole governors wanting to shut this down and get these workers back to work. You know, they may have a little bit more of an incentive. GOP governors are cutting unemployment aid. Some have ties to businesses that may benefit. Oh, really? You think? Look at that. Look at the look on this guy's face. Let me see. This guy. I don't know if I can do it, but this guy right here. Who is this? This is Jim Justice. That sounds like a Smokey the Bandit character, doesn't it? Because there was a Buford T. Justice, right? Buford T. Justice. Maybe that's his brother. I'm going to barbecue your ass in molasses. That was such a great movie, man. Smokey and the Bandit. Anyway, back to this shit. He kind of looks like a gray-haired Chris Christie. He's like Chris Christie from the future came back to the past to become governor of West Virginia. When West Virginia Governor Jim Justice announced his decision last month to cut federal unemployment benefits for state's jobless residents, he pointed to what he said was a plethora of openings for those who needed work. I'm going to try to do this in West Virginia accent. West Virginians have access to thousands of jobs right now. We need everybody back to work, he said on May 14th. We got to have you back to work. America is all about work. That's what has made this country great. What JJ fails to realize that, this hard work made this country great, but it was slave labor that was the hard work. So an aside, but still, let's point that out. Anyway, Justice didn't need to look far for examples of companies struggling to hire workers. The storied West Virginia resort he owns, the Greenbrier, has been looking for dozens of new employees in recent weeks and until recently had received far fewer applications than normal. But after Justice announced his decision, that started to change, said Kathy Miller, Vice President of Human Resources at the luxury hotel. Yeah. So, yeah, some bullshit she said. Republican governors in 25 states are in the midst of a giant economic experiment ceasing enhanced jobless aid for an estimated 4 million people. And none of these governors have personal connections to businesses that are trying to find workers and could benefit from the policy change. That's according to, this is all from the Washington Post, by the way. So let's look at New Hampshire. The governor's family invests in a large resort that has many employees. In North Dakota, the governor sits on the board of a family agricultural business that is seeking to fill numerous jobs, including posts for truck drivers and technicians. Mississippi's governor, Tate Reeves, or as I like to call him, Tater, is a shareholder in his father's air conditioning and supply firm. These are among the many governors who have taken steps to cut expanded jobless aid in recent weeks. Yada, yada, yada. Democracy dies in darkness, whatever. All right. So once again, these people are getting played. These Republican governors don't give a shit. Why would they oppose federal money, right? Why would you oppose free money? I know southern states that go through hurricanes, and, it's like, it's all about state sovereignty till a hurricane hits, right? And then the hurricane hits, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, federal government, y'all gonna send some money and some aid and some this and some, And yeah, the government's screwed up, especially during Katrina. That was one of the biggest fuck-ups ever. But still, states' rights, our sovereignty, don't tread on me. Hurricane's coming. Oh, shit, y'all get that checkbook, right? It's not funny, but it is true that's what's going on. And that's what these governors are doing. They're doing the same thing. They're like, oh, man, we got to get cheap labor back in our place. And it's not just their places either. I mean, I'm pretty sure what all this fails to mention is the governor's buddies. They're all business owners. I'm sure, their businesses are hurting. So you got to get these people back. It's not just one person. You got to look, you got to pull back and you got to look at the big picture. It's not one dude. It's always a cluster. That's why they call it a clusterfuck, because there's always a cluster. And it's always fuck.